Deep in the heart of the land, far beyond the bustling towns and noisy cities, lay a place of enchantment. It was called the Whispering Woods, and it was a forest unlike any other. Sunlight dripped through the canopy, painting the forest floor in shifting patterns of light and shadow. The air hummed with the music of nature, a symphony of rustling leaves and birdsong. Ancient trees stood tall, their branches reaching towards the heavens like gnarled fingers. They had witnessed countless seasons, their bark etched with the stories of time. The forest floor was a carpet of soft moss and fallen leaves, damp and fragrant with the scent of pine and earth. Tiny mushrooms peeked out from beneath fallen logs, their caps glowing with an otherworldly luminescence. A gentle breeze rustled through the leaves, whispering secrets to the ancient trees. It carried the scent of wildflowers and the sweet melody of a distant stream. The Whispering Woods was a place of wonder and mystery, where anything seemed possible. Lily, a young girl with eyes as bright as the summer sky, stood at the edge of the woods. Her heart raced with a mixture of fear and excitement. She had always been drawn to the stories of magic and adventure, and she longed to experience something extraordinary.
I've heard tales of the Whispering Woods, of its enchanted creatures and hidden treasures. I wish for a life filled with wonder, a life that sparkles with the magic I know exists in my heart.
One starlit night, Lily made a wish. She wished for an adventure, a chance to discover the magic that lay hidden within the Whispering Woods. She closed her eyes tight and whispered her wish to the stars, her heart filled with hope. The next morning, Lily felt a pull towards the woods. She couldn't explain it, but she knew she had to go there. As she ventured deeper into the woods, the sunlight seemed to dance between the leaves, guiding her forward. Suddenly, she heard a soft giggle coming from behind a cluster of ferns. Hesitantly, Lily pushed aside the fronds and gasped in surprise. S1, hello? Sitting on a mossy log was a tiny creature no bigger than her hand with delicate butterfly wings and sparkling eyes. S1, oh.
Greetings, I am Willow, a sylph of the Whispering Woods. I am here to guide you on your quest. This is the Tree of Whispers. It holds ancient wisdom, but it speaks only in riddles. Narrator Lily and Willow set off deeper into the woods, their path illuminated by Willow's gentle glow. The forest seemed to come alive around them, the trees whispering secrets in the breeze, the flowers nodding their heads in greeting. They came to a clearing dominated by a massive oak tree, its branches reaching out like arms towards the sky. The air crackled with an unseen energy.
I have roots nobody sees, and I reach for the sky.
Lily closed her eyes and concentrated, trying to decipher the riddle. As they ventured deeper into the enchanted forest, the ancient tree pointed a branch towards a sparkling stream that wound its way through the trees.
You are a tree.
The Tree of Whispers rustled its leaves, pleased. The stream gurgled and splashed, its water crystal clear. But as they approached, it began to churn and foam, its surface rising higher and higher until it formed a wall of water. S4, follow the stream. It will lead you to your next challenge.
The stream is testing your courage, Lily. You must be brave and cross to the other side.
Lily took a deep breath, her heart pounding in her chest. She closed her eyes and jumped, feeling the icy water engulf her. For a moment she felt weightless, suspended in time. Then, just as quickly, she landed on the other side, soaked but exhilarated. Lily and Willow continued their journey, following the winding path deeper into the heart of the woods.
Look at the hidden wonders of the forest, Lily. The delicate beauty of the wildflowers, the intricate patterns of the spider webs, the busy life of the forest floor.
They came to a hill, its slopes covered in wildflowers of every color imaginable. The air shimmered with a strange energy, making Lily feel lightheaded.
This is the Hill of Whispers. It is a place of powerful magic where dreams and reality intertwine.
As they climbed the hill, Lily felt a strange sense of peace wash over her. The world seemed to fade away, replaced by a feeling of boundless possibility. It was as if the hill itself was whispering secrets to her heart, filling her with hope and wonder. At the top of the hill, nestled amongst the trees, lay a hidden glade bathed in a warm golden light.
Could this be the treasure I have been searching for?
In the center of the glade stood a small wooden chest, its surface carved with intricate designs. This was the heart of the woods, a place of pure magic. Lily's breath caught in her throat. She had faced her fears, solved riddles, and overcome challenges to reach this point. Her heart raced with anticipation.
You have done well, Lily. You have shown courage, wisdom, and a pure heart. The treasure awaits you.
Willow fluttered around her, her wings buzzing with excitement. Lily slowly approached the chest, her hand trembling with anticipation. She knelt down and carefully lifted the lid.
Inside, nestled on a bed of soft velvet, lay a single, perfect white feather.
Lily frowned, a flicker of disappointment crossing her face. She had expected gold, jewels, something magnificent. A single feather seemed so insignificant, so ordinary. Where was the magic?
Sometimes the greatest treasures are not what we expect.
Her voice was filled with wisdom that belied her small size. Lily looked at the feather, its whiteness shining in the sunlight. She picked it up, feeling its delicate texture between her fingers.
As she did, a warmth spread through her, filling her with a sense of peace and joy. Then she understood.
The feather wasn't just a feather, it was a symbol. It represented the magic that had always surrounded her, the magic she had finally opened her heart to see. It was the magic of the Whispering Woods, the magic of courage, of kindness, of believing in the impossible.
Lily smiled, tears welling up in her eyes. She had found something far more precious than gold or jewels.
She had found the magic within herself, the magic that would stay with her long after she left the Whispering Woods. With a heart full of gratitude, Lily closed the chest and turned to leave the glade.
Willow fluttered beside her, her tiny hand resting on Lily's shoulder.
Thank you for showing me the true magic.
Together, they made their way out of the Whispering Woods, the setting sun painting the sky in hues of orange, pink, and purple. Lily knew she would never forget her adventure, or the valuable lesson she had learned.
As she stepped out of the woods and into the fading light, she turned back one last time.
The trees seemed to wave goodbye, their leaves rustling in the breeze. Lily smiled, knowing that a part of her would always remain in the Whispering Woods. Lily's life was forever changed by her adventure in the Whispering Woods. She carried the memory of the feather, and the lessons it represented, close to her heart.
She knew that magic wasn't just something found in fairy tales. It was all around her, in the everyday wonders of the world.
She started to see the world with new eyes, appreciating the beauty in the ordinary, the magic in the mundane. She learned to trust her instincts, to be brave in the face of challenges, and to always believe in the power of her dreams.
The feather became a symbol of her own inner strength and the boundless possibilities that lay ahead.
Lily knew that as long as she carried the magic within her heart, anything was possible. And so she continued her journey, no longer an ordinary girl, but a girl touched by the magic of the Whispering Woods.
Max lived in a house made of candy. Every wall was a different flavor. The roof was gingerbread. The windows were clear sugar. Max loved his home.
My favorite room is the kitchen. The counters are made of fudge and the sink is a big jelly bean. I love the smell of peppermint in the air. I often dream of adventures.
One sunny morning, Max was having breakfast. He had gummy bears and chocolate milk. Suddenly he heard a tiny voice. It was coming from his marshmallow friend, Melvin. Melvin was always full of surprises.
Melvin had big news. He had heard about the legendary Candy Castle. It was a place filled with the sweetest treasures.
Max was excited. He knew they had to find it. And so their adventure began. Melvin was a talking marshmallow. He was small and squishy. He had a cheerful smile. Melvin loved to bounce around. He was always ready for fun. Max and Melvin were best friends. They did everything together. Max was brave. Melvin was clever. They made a great team.
Today we're ready for a big adventure.
We've packed our bags with candy supplies.
I took some licorice ropes.
And I packed jelly beans.
They also took a map. It showed the way to the Candy Castle. They were ready to go. As they stepped outside, the sun was shining. The world looked magical. Every tree was made of lollipops. The flowers were made of candy canes.
Let's take a deep breath.
Our sweet journey has begun.
As they walked, they met a grumpy gingerbread man. He was standing in the middle of the path. His arms were crossed. He looked very angry. His voice was gruff. Max introduced himself and Melvin. They explained their mission. S3. Who are you?
I'm Gus. I guard this path. To pass, you must solve my riddle.
Max and Melvin looked at each other. They loved riddles. They nodded eagerly.
What is sweet and melts in your mouth but is not ice cream?
Gus grinned. He stepped aside. Max and Melvin cheered. They continued on their way. S3, you may pass. S1, chocolate. Next, they met the bubblegum fairy. She was floating above a field of bubblegum flowers. She had pink wings. Her dress was made of bubblegum wrappers. She looked very kind.
We're heading to the Candy Castle, S4. Hello, I am Bella, the bubblegum fairy. Where are you heading?
I can help you, but first you must help me.
Bella had lost her bubble wand. Without it, she could not make bubbles. Max and Melvin agreed to help. They searched the field. They looked under the flowers. They looked in the bushes. Finally, Melvin found the wand.
Thank you so much. Here, take this bag of magical bubblegum. It will help you on your journey.
Bella was very happy. She thanked them with a gift. Max and Melvin thanked her. They waved goodbye and continued on their way. Max and Melvin came to a river, but this was no ordinary river. It was made of chocolate. The water was dark and smooth, and it smelled delicious.
I have an idea, narrator. Max's eyes widened. They needed to cross the river, but there was no bridge. S1. Wow.
Max took out the licorice ropes. They could use them to swing across.
That sounds like a good plan.
Max tied one end of the rope to a tree and swung the other end to a tree on the other side. Then he and Melvin swung across. It was a bit scary, but they made it safely. They landed on the other side, laughing. Max and Melvin took a moment to rest. They dipped their fingers in the chocolate river. S2. That was fun. S1. We did it.
It tastes amazing.
They filled their water bottles with chocolate. It would be a sweet treat for later. Then they continued their journey. The next part of their journey took them to the licorice forest. The trees were tall and black, and the air smelled like licorice. It was a bit dark and spooky.
It's kind of spooky here.
Just hold my hand, we'll be fine.
As they walked, they heard strange noises and saw shadows moving. Max felt a bit scared.
I'm a little scared, Melvin.
Remember our mission, Max. We have to find the Candy Castle.
Suddenly, they heard a rustling sound. A licorice vine was moving towards them, wrapping around Max's leg.
This should do it. Narrator, Melvin acted quickly. He took out the magical bubblegum, chewed a piece, and blew a big bubble. S1. Help, Melvin.
The bubble floated towards the vine. It popped and the vine let go. Max was free. They continued walking, and soon they saw light ahead. They were almost out of the forest. S1. Thanks, Melvin, and thanks to the Bubblegum Fairy for this magical gift. At the edge of the forest, they met the Candy King. He was tall and wore a crown made of candy jewels. His robe was made of candy wrappers. He looked very wise.
Welcome, he said in a deep voice. I am King Candius. I have heard of your quest.
Max and Melvin bowed.
They told him about their journey.
King Candius nodded thoughtfully.
You've shown great courage and teamwork, he said, but your journey is not over. To reach the Candy Castle, you must face one final challenge.
Max and Melvin looked at each other. They were ready.
This key will open the gate to the Candy Castle, he said, but you must find the gate first.
Max and Melvin thanked him. They took the key and continued on their way. Max and Melvin walked towards a hill. At the top, they saw something shining. It was the gate to the Candy Castle. Their hearts raced with excitement. They climbed the hill quickly.
Max took out the golden key.
He inserted it into the lock. The gate slowly opened. Max and Melvin gasped.
The Candy Castle was even more beautiful than they imagined. The castle was made of every candy you could think of. The walls were made of chocolate bricks. The windows were made of sugar glass. The towers were made of candy canes. It was a magical sight.
Max and Melvin entered the castle. They were greeted by the Candy King.
Welcome to the Candy Castle, he said. You have earned your place here.
Max and Melvin felt proud. They had completed their journey. It was time to celebrate. Max and Melvin's eyes widened. Narrator. Inside the castle, a grand feast was waiting. There were tables filled with every kind of candy. There were chocolate fountains and candy mountains. There were jelly bean trees and marshmallow clouds.
They joined the feast with the Candy King and the Bubblegum Fairy. Even the grumpy gingerbread man was there. Everyone was laughing and having a good time.
Max and Melvin felt very happy. They tried all the different candies. They drank from the chocolate fountains. They climbed the candy mountains. It was a sweet dream come true. Max and Melvin couldn't stop smiling.
As the feast came to an end, Max and Melvin thanked everyone. They had made new friends and wonderful memories. They knew they would never forget this adventure. It was a magical day. Max and Melvin had learned many things on their journey. They learned about teamwork. They worked together to solve problems. They helped each other through challenges. They were stronger together. They also learned about creativity. They used their imagination to find solutions. They thought outside the box. They made the best of every situation.
It was a valuable lesson.
Most importantly, they learned about friendship. They made new friends along the way. They shared their journey with others. They celebrated together. It was a bond that would last forever.
Max and Melvin returned home with happy hearts. They knew that adventures were always out there. All they needed was a bit of courage and a sweet friend by their side. The world was a magical place, and they were ready for more adventures.
Olive was a special girl. She had a secret. Olive could make plants grow with just a touch. Her fingers were like magic wands, bringing life to everything they touched.
She loved to use her gift, whispering to wilting flowers, and they would bloom again, big and bright. The garden was her sanctuary, a place where she felt truly alive. Olive dreamed of adventure, reading books about fairies and elves, wishing for a magical place of her own. She often imagined herself in those stories, meeting mystical creatures and embarking on grand quests.
One day, her wish came true. It was a day like any other, but something felt different in the air. Olive found something amazing. It was a tiny box, hidden in her garden. The box was ornate, with intricate carvings that seemed to tell a story of their own.
Curiously, Olive opened the box. Her heart raced with excitement and a hint of fear. Inside, she found a single seed that shimmered like gold and felt warm in her hand, as if it had a magic of its own. The seed seemed to pulse with energy, filling Olive with a sense of wonder. Olive knew this was no ordinary seed. This was the start of her adventure. She could feel it in her bones. A new chapter was about to begin, filled with magic and endless possibilities.
Olive held the seed tightly and raced to her favorite place in the garden, a quiet corner under the willow tree.
Eagerly, Olive planted the golden seed and watched in amazement as the ground started to shake. A tiny green shoot pushed through the soil, growing taller and taller right before her eyes.
The shoot blossomed into a giant sunflower, but this was no ordinary sunflower.
It sparkled and shimmered, its petals made of pure light. And right in the center, a door appeared, round and small, like a fairy door. Olive knew she had to be brave. She took a deep breath and opened the door. The door led to a staircase that spiraled down into the earth. Olive, filled with excitement, followed the magical path.
The air grew warmer as I went down, smelling like sunshine and blooming flowers.
Finally, Olive reached the bottom of the stairs and gasped. Before her lay a secret garden, an underground wonderland with flowers in every color imaginable, and sparkling waterfalls trickling into crystal-clear pools.
But something was wrong. The garden looked tired. The flowers were drooping. The waterfalls were just a trickle.
This magical place needed Olive's help. Olive soon learned about the dark thorns. They were thorny vines full of shadow and gloom, stealing the garden's magic.
I have to stop them. I won't let them hurt my new magical friends.
Olive bravely walked deeper into the garden, meeting talking animals and giggling fairies, all afraid of the dark thorns.
You cannot save this garden. It belongs to the shadows now.
I know what to do.
She placed her hand on the wilting plants, whispering words of encouragement. Slowly, color returned to the garden. The waterfalls began to flow again, but the dark thorns were still a threat. Olive reached the heart of the garden, where she saw the biggest dark thorn of all, looming over a single golden sunflower. The sight was both awe-inspiring and terrifying, as the dark forces seemed to choke the very life out of the garden.
This sunflower is the source of the garden's magic. It holds the essence of all that is good and pure in this enchanted place. I won't let the dark thorns win. I must protect the heart of the garden at all costs.
Remembering the warmth of the golden seed, Olive closed her eyes and focused. pouring all her love and energy into the sunflower. She could feel the pulse of the garden's life force responding to her touch.
Grow strong and bright, little sunflower. Let your light banish the darkness that threatens us.
The garden erupted in a blinding flash of light. The energy was so intense that it seemed to cleanse every corner of the garden. The dark thorns shrieked and disappeared, unable to withstand the pure, radiant energy. The golden sunflower stood tall, blooming brighter than ever before. Its petals seemed to shimmer with an inner light. The entire garden came back to life, waterfalls roared, and the flowers were more vibrant than ever. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blossoms and the sound of nature's symphony. Olive had saved the enchanted garden. Her bravery and love had restored the magic, ensuring that the garden would thrive for generations to come. Olive had faced her fears, used her gift to help others, and had been brave and kind. She had ventured into the unknown, embracing the challenges that came her way with a heart full of courage and a spirit of kindness. Her journey was not just about overcoming obstacles, but about discovering the strength within herself. The enchanted garden was safe, thanks to her. Olive's magic had woven a protective shield around the garden, ensuring that it remained a sanctuary for all its inhabitants. The once threatened paradise now thrived under her watchful eye and gentle touch. The fairies and animals cheered for their hero, showering her with flower petals and songs of gratitude. Their joy was palpable, filling the air with a sense of celebration and unity. Olive felt their appreciation deeply, knowing that her efforts had made a real difference. It was time for Olive to go home. S1. Her heart was full, and she knew that this was not a goodbye, but a promise of return. Thank you, everyone. Olive's voice was filled with emotion as she bid farewell to her newfound friends. The bonds she had formed were strong, and she knew that they would always hold a special place in her heart.
I promise to visit again soon. Her words were a vow, a commitment to return and continue the adventures that had only just begun.
She climbed back up the staircase, and as she reached her own garden, she saw something magical. The journey back was filled with reflections of her experiences, each step a reminder of the magic she had encountered and the lessons she had learned.
Look at that. A tiny golden sunflower is blooming right where I planted the seed. Olive's eyes sparkled with wonder as she realized that the magic of the enchanted garden had followed her home.
Olive smiled, knowing that magic lived inside her, the power of her love, her courage, and her kindness. She understood that the true magic was not just in the garden, but within her own heart. And she knew, with every sunrise, a new adventure could begin. Each day brought new possibilities, and Olive was ready to embrace them all, with the same bravery and kindness that had guided her through the enchanted garden.